Hello, E39 source. We're going to be doing a little bit of work on the 2000 M5 today.
T30.
We're going to need a T30. Well, we're ahead of the game. Well, you saw the title, so you know I'm finally doing it, which I never really expected that I would. But this is the E39 M5 steering wheel that was used until September of 2000. It's the pre-facelift wheel. It's got the M stitching, it's got the multi-function buttons, and this one's actually in pretty good shape. It's going to be installed on another car in the source here, not too much time, I don't think. But that one's going today for a newer wheel, of which we'll get you a part number fairly shortly. That's brand new from ECS Tuning, and it is beautiful. So we have our first step is going to be turning the wheel approximately like that. Leave your battery connected for now. We want to turn it about 90 degrees to the right. Pull that key out and throw it back in. That's going to get really annoying. Then we have you said T30, right?
Yep, T30.
We have a T30 Torx bit on the back. This is going to be the bolt that holds the airbag in. Note that we don't need to disconnect our battery until we're actually ready to pull the wires out of the rear of the airbag.
And you don't want to do that because you are going to need to be moving the wheel, unless the front of the car is in the air or you have immense strength.
So we need to keep turning the wheel to be able to get to these bolts. Now we're using a socket instead of a screwdriver just due to space.
It's a little tricky to get back here as well. Just keep playing with the angles until you get it. The bolts are at some weird angles sometimes.
I know that I'm going to be questioned, so I'm going to try to help as much as I can right now. BMW switched from single stage to dual stage airbags in these cars. I don't know the exact month of this switch. I think it was March or April of 1999. A dual stage airbag will not work in a car that came with a single stage airbag, and a single stage airbag will not work in a car that came with a dual stage airbag. As far as I know, please correct me if I'm wrong, the steering wheel itself shouldn't make a difference. This is a steering wheel. There's no airbag in the steering wheel right now. So you should be able to put that on a January 99 car. It's going to be your airbag and the wires going to it that are going to make the difference. And it's very difficult and expensive, from what I've read on the forums, to convert your car. This is a dual stage airbag car due to the fact that it is a February of 2000. So I shouldn't have any issues going from this wheel to the updated one. This is the airbag that steering wheel uses. I got this on eBay. The steering wheel is brand new from ECS Tuning, which is a custom order part from BMW. It's about $638. This airbag new is around $900. If you're willing to pay $900 for an airbag, absolutely go at it. If you can find a really nice clean one on eBay from a reputable seller, and you trust the fact that it would work should it need to, by all means, save yourself the money and buy it. I got this one for $300 and it looks absolutely perfect. There's no wear in the leather, the badge is clean, the back doesn't have any rust on it like some I've seen. I'm very happy with this so far, as long as it doesn't turn an airbag light on. Installing this airbag is really easy. We'll go through that once the wheel's already on the car. I'm going to get you the part number for this steering wheel. Note that it's the 2001 Plus E39 M5 and E46 M3 wheel with the multicolor stitching, so it's not just a sport package wheel. From ECS, it includes this bottom piece of trim with the M, the top piece of trim that has all your multi-functions in it, and all of the wires are included inside of it for the airbag and for the multi-function part. So all of that from ECS Tuning, and your part number is right inside my house, right here. So both T30 Torx bolts are out. At this point, we're going to disconnect our battery whenever we are messing with the wires going to or from an airbag. We do need to disconnect that. On your M5, there's a 10mm socket right here, or a bolt. We're just going to loosen that up and pull the post off the battery. E39s that don't wear an M badge, it's back there behind that little trap door. Bolts are out. Steering wheel or airbag pulls towards you like that.
Then you can simply unplug the wires right back here.
The wires.
Little clip on top, pull it out, and you have your airbag.
Okay. I feel the horn mechanism. Interesting, interesting. So that leaves us with...
The next step is to remove this bolt.
If anybody's curious about part numbers or anything of the one that came out of my car, it is this. It says 2000 on it, and it's got those numbers. This should be a dual stage, and these parts are not for sale. So we have a 16mm bolt right in the middle there. Before we do that, Colt, why don't we go ahead and pull the white wire for the multifunction. We can see above the bolt, that wire is for the cruise control, volume, media, That plugs into the top of the wheel there, so we're just going to disconnect that so we make sure no wires are still connected to the existing wheel. Now our setup, we're using a deep well 16mm socket, a 1/2" drive 6" extension, and a 1/2" drive 18" breaker bar. We're going to go counterclockwise, and that's on there with a good bit of force. Our new one's going to be torqued down to 59 foot-pounds, so we're going to try to break that for you now. Okay, the outgoing steering wheel comes off really easily with the right tools, meaning a breaker bar.
When you pull the bolt out, it's not that long of a bolt.
That's the actual bolt, right? So that obviously goes right there in the middle. There's a couple of guide pins, it looks like, right there, and the connectors for your airbag and auxiliary functions. Looking kind of strange. Here's a comparison of the new on the right and the older on the left. Styling's definitely changed, and it's definitely thicker on the right. That's one of the first things you notice when touching it. It's got more girth in the actual wheel. Here's the new wheel inside of the car. We installed a 16mm bolt, torqued that down to 59 foot-pounds. The existing connections are right up here. The airbag wire that comes built in the new steering wheel plugs in the center, and then your white accessory wire plugs in on the right. They just snap into place. Here's our airbag. There's 2 wires going to this airbag, a black one and a green one. We just line those up accordingly. We'll snap those on, and we'll show you what it looks like after that happens. There's what that looks like. They only go in one way. There's little notches that stick out that go in corresponding channels on the actual airbag. So I'm going to pass the camera over here.
Also, a little tip that we couldn't figure out at first, we had to look up. When removing this airbag, bring it out for a second. When removing these, if you can't figure out how to get the clips off, stick a tiny screwdriver right in that little notch there.
Yeah, right here.
And this thing will pop up, and then you can just take it right off.
Same thing with the black one. So then we're going to make sure that we're not going to pinch any of our wires here, which it looks like.
And make sure you plug in your audio and cruise control controls.
Yep. And then we just kind of line it up and then push. And it should snap into place. Like so. So now we can reconnect our battery, make sure we don't have an airbag light, and test it out. Alright guys, here's what we have after pressing the airbag in. You can reconnect your battery. I started the car, absolutely no airbag lights, no check lights or complain lights of any kind. We just went for a quick little drive. We actually went over to Giant Eagle and got some donuts. But it feels really great. Definitely notice the added thickness. It's a tiny bit smaller maybe. The buttons feel really nice. Everything's in reach. And one of the bigger things, let me crawl out of the back seat here, is something that people have complained about since I think they bought these cars in 2000 with the old steering wheels on them. When you sit here with the old wheel, you had choices that you could make. You could either not see the top of the gauges and see the entire display, or you would lose your display and see the top of the gauges. With this wheel, you can see everything. Everything in view quite perfectly. Nothing's blocked out anymore. Now for me, with my seat adjustment and my height, that's the wheel all the way back and all the way up. That's just where I like it. Keeps it out of the way, and I sit nice and close to the wheel so I get good feedback with it. So I'm really happy with this upgrade. It's beautiful. The stitching is excellent. The leather feels great. The buttons are nice. The airbag fits. I'm very happy with it. So that's kind of one of the last big facelift things that this car needed, and I'm really glad I did it. So thanks, Colt, for your help with that. Check back in the future. We will have more things going on. I will never be done with this car because no enthusiast is ever done with a car. Thanks for watching. Please leave us some comments. Bye-bye.